Hey guys, Bugcat7 here. Okay, it is Sunday, June 21st, 2020, and I'd like to thank you for visiting the Stonewall Research Channel here on YouTube. I really do appreciate it. All right, guys, well, we've come to the end of my series looking into the accounts of the quote unquote giants or large hominids, as I like to call them. And the last state in the series from the United States here is Hawaii. And this also very interesting because we also get an added bonus by some accounts of the quote unquote giants being in Guam as well, which is a U.S. territory. So it's interesting how these accounts relate to each other here, but the implications of it, I mean, obviously, the implications of the Giants being there in Hawaii and Guam and elsewhere, and also with stone constructions from those areas. Let's see if I have it here. Yeah, he's from the Hidden Inca Tours, Brian Forster, and he's looked into the sort of megalithic things here at Hawaii. Here's one of them here. They were responsible, for example, of making such works as the Menehune Ditch on the island of Kauai, where no mortar was used, and the basalt stones appear to have been shaped and fitted with reasonable precision. So, again, we have, stonework, large hominids going together like throughout the United States and especially the northeastern part of the United States. So you have these megalithic works there in Hawaii and also on Guam as well. And you also have accounts of the giants. And if you remember, if you've been a subscriber for a while, my interview with the nice Laotian lady from Washington State, the author, Von Gall, she's written a number of books, and she's researching into the giants in Polynesia, especially. And she had sent me some photographs, and these are the chiefs of the Fiji Islands. And if you haven't seen this before, you can see these guys here. This guy's 7'7". I guess he's the current chief, and this was one that was up to 2004. If you notice this fellow here, okay, he's not only taller, but he's bigger. Okay, as we've heard many, many times from all the accounts of the giants as we've gone through on this channel. All right, and also my accounts that I've given on this channel from many of the explorers, including Verrazano, who said that they were bigger in size and were tawny colored and even white looking to him. And Cabeza de Vaca's accounts of not only big people, but small people too. But look at this fellow here, okay? Is he suffering from gigantism? Is he suffering from acromegaly? Okay, look, folks, that was the 20th century ideas about the giants. Okay, you forget about it. All the Nephilim and Anunnaki. Is this guy some, blood dripping from his fangs, baby eating Nephilim or Anunnaki? It clearly shows, all right, that this relationship between the large hominid people, okay, who considered some sort of royalty class or distinct class other than these average size people. This guy's probably like 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. This guy could rip his head off. Okay, this guy is a giant. Okay. What's interesting about these chiefs here is that they only marry and reproduce within their class. Okay, similar to the Watusi peoples I've gone over on this channel, the same relationship. And what this relationship shows, if you really want to think about it, is that evidently the giants were not bad leaders because these people would certainly have, overthrown these people. They have greater numbers. Their subjects are in greater numbers, such as the Watusi and the Tutsi people. Okay, he's an average size. One of the subjects of the Fiji chiefs here, right? Okay, they only reproduce within their class. Same as the Watusi, they don't mix DNA. So it's been unbroken. But again, what's interesting about these giants, and also proven by the Watusi here, okay, they must have been fair rulers. Otherwise, their people probably would have overthrown them a very long time ago. It's not to say that they weren't bad giant rulers, and maybe that's where all the propaganda comes from. I don't know. But it clearly shows that this relationship existed between the large people and the smaller people, the Homo sapiens, okay? And whoever these large people were, and we know there's many configurations of the skeletal types from the past, with horns and tails and everything else, other weird things, extra teeth and blah, 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 okay? But maybe these giant peoples had no idea of their own past, just like we don't have any idea of our own past, just as Randall Carlson goes over in his theories about what happened in the past. Just listen to what he has to say a little bit.
There has been some kind of a universal system at use in the ancient world. And these various cultural groups, whether it was the Egyptians or Sumerians or Mayans or the Hawaiians or the megalithic builders, had access to some universal system from some source that was outside their own cultural context. And I suggest that the source of that goes back into deep time, that takes us back beyond the threshold of known history into the realm of mythical history, which means we're going back like into the Ice Age, back into the Pleistocene, to use the geologist term, back into the deep recesses of the human tenure on planet Earth, whose only memory has come down to us not in the form of recorded history, but in the form of myth and epic story and legend and so forth. Because as it turns out, if we, and this is again is a good topic for a sacred geometry class, when we analyze Plato's description of Atlantis.
All right. So anyway, you get the message or whatever. Okay, Carlson says that societies built themselves up to such an advanced level, and then there was these cataclysms and catastrophes. It's probably going to happen again. Okay, where the whole surface of the earth was destroyed. Okay, so all these, the way they measure the geological record by layering and the sediments and blah 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 blah, it doesn't matter because the whole planet's been destroyed over and over and over again. Okay, they show evidences of it. They know it. They're the ones who research these things. They find these things out, but they don't see the whole big picture because they compartmentalize. And if Carlson wants to know more about it, well, the giants figure heavily into this. Okay, and if this was the relationship that was going on for thousands and thousands of years, where these large people were the aristocracy class over us regular Homo sapien, average size humans, or whatever it is. Well, that's the way it was. It is certainly evidence of this, as the archaeologists and anthropologists found out in Indiana, between the Adena and the Hopewell. So, and they had a rather large area of the U.S. that they ruled over, and they had a giant society. Who knows what their outside enemies were, even if they had any? Maybe they didn't have any. When you have a large society like that, who's your enemy? Nobody. You're the king. Similar to that of the stone walls in the northeastern part of North America. That was a similar kind of society, maybe an older one than even in Adena and the Hopewell that built all the walls up there and everything, but maybe that's where it started. Okay, we don't know the exact timeline, and all these references and the way that the tribes have moved around the United States doesn't make any sense to the way they describe it. It should be. So just think about it, folks. Get rid of these ideas, okay? All these stupid ideas, okay? The anti-giant propaganda, All right, that they were cannibals and bloodthirsty fallen angels and aliens and blah blah blah. It's all nonsense. All right, forget about it. That was 20th century. We're in the 21st century now. Okay, we're starting to figure things out. All those things are a distraction. History choke channel distractions. Okay, the government approved History Channel. Okay, you can be sure if it's on there, ancient aliens, whatever the heck it is. All right, it's nonsense. All right, you're gonna get the straight dope here. Okay, while those guys are writing books like L.A. Marzulli and everything, and making millions of dollars and eating filet mignon every night, and they're basically telling you a lie. Okay, or they're part of the controlled opposition or whatever it might be. I'm trying to give you the truth here, and I'm eating out of a garbage can. Okay, so look, forget about all those old ideas from the 20th century. We're in a new century now. Okay, we're looking at these things rationally. All right, it has everything to do with the story of the giant. What the past is, okay, and a totally different past than you can even imagine. Okay, more fantastic than the Nephilim and Anunnaki and the people who don't or refuse to believe in the giants because they're anti-religion or whatever else. They're demented. Those people are delusional. They're keeping the truth from themselves of a past they can only imagine. Okay, so look, let's take a look at some of these accounts from Hawaii here. And I have some loose ends on some of the states, so we're going to cover some of that stuff just to wrap it up. And then we're going to go international. So that will be a lot of fun. All right, so let's look at this first account here. 3 7-foot skeletons from Waimea. And I think I'm going to have to make this a little bigger, guys, because my eyes are not that great. All right, maybe I can read it. 3 skeletons of olden giants are discovered. Road workers at Waimea, Hawaii, dig up bones of men over 7 feet tall. And I know a lot of people, again, whoever looks at these giant videos, again, they're going to be hearing these same things. 7 feet tall, say, oh, that's not too much. Well, forget about what the Hopewell Museum, that's 20th century nonsense. Okay, slightly more robust. Does this guy look slightly more robust to you? Is he slightly more robust over compared to this like 6 foot tall, 200-pound guy that's standing right next to him? Is this slightly more robust? I think it's a little bit more than slightly more robust, okay? A real life giant that lives today, okay? That'll tear this guy's arms and legs off or hold his foot down like a bug, all right? Forget about what the Humboldt Museum says. They're doing that on purpose. Don't you get it? All right? They want you to be fooled. They want you to go down all kinds of rabbit holes, Nephilim and Anunnaki and cannibal giants and all this kind of stuff. They want you to go that way because they don't want you to know the truth. Okay? You're hearing the truth here, folks. You won't hear it anywhere else. Do you hear that on anybody else's channel? They weren't cannibals. The giants have part of the past that we don't know about. Okay, do you hear anything about that? Okay, you're only going to hear about it here. All right? And I'll keep bringing it to you as long as I keep eating out of the garbage. I'll have plenty of strength to bring it there. Okay, while L.A. Marzulli's sipping brandy and eating filet mignon with his BS story about the Nephilim giant cannibal, blah, blah, blah. Nonsense. Legend of Great Battle believed now confirmed. Story of Maui King, whose bodyguard fell on invasion, brought back to mind. 3 gigantic skeletons unearthed a few days ago at Waimea, Hawaii, have aroused intense interest among those who have heard of the unusual happening. The immense size of the skeletons confirms stories in Hawaiian legends of the great stature and tremendous strength of the men of old, particularly those who surrounded the kings and chiefs in the days when, and then it cuts off, it doesn't continue up top here. John H. Wise, who has been at work in the Waimea Homestead District on the homesteading project, in which he and several other local people are interested, vouches for the correctness of the information, having personally inspected the skeletons and made rough but practical measurements of some of the bones. And just back to this, okay, when you say the tremendous strength and blah, 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 okay, think about it in the context of moving stone around, okay? Everybody's trying to figure out, well, how did they move the stone around? They had to make a sling and a sled and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And, none of it ever works or makes any sense when they try it on their own. But in any case, that's what they say and everything. But they're not thinking about it in the right context. And the people who built many of the megalithic things of the past were giant people. Well, it was certainly easier for them to move around a lot of big stone and all that kind of stuff than it would be for us, okay? If you were, the size of this guy or taller and bigger and like the Jolly Green Giant, I hate to say. All right? How easy it's going to be for you to move around all that stuff if you're like 12, 14, 16 feet tall, whatever it is, 10 feet tall, 9 feet tall. Who cares? Okay? It's certainly be a lot easier for you to move around big, giant, big stones than it is for any of us. But they're always trying to figure out how we did it. Okay? Well, maybe we didn't do it. All right? Maybe these guys did it here. Okay? You understand? Stop thinking like those old 20th century thoughts and all that kind of stuff. Get rid of all that shit. Throw all that L.A. Marzulli and Steve Quayle and all the skeptics or whatever there at Skeptic Magazine. You throw that in the garbage too. That piece of garbage. Okay, forget about all that stuff. All those people trying to lead you down the garden path, and you're not going to get the truth about the giants or large hominids from any of them. All right, throw that crap in the garbage. There is no question that the men living were all well over 7 feet high, said Wise today. The leg bones, for instance, were far longer than that of any man in Hawaii today, so far as we know. I am something over 5 feet 10 in height, and the leg bone from foot to knee came halfway between my knee and thigh. The bones were of immense size. The skulls were also of great size, while the confirmation indicated that the men were of an intelligent type. Excuse me. The forehead was bold instead of retreating, and all the skull bones were well formed. Okay, so all I'm saying these people have vaulted craniums like the Adena, okay, with those big brains and all that kind of stuff. But it's not the big brain that gives you intelligence, it's the structure. So probably had a very complex structured brain, okay, like us and other animals on this planet. The octopus, for instance, the smartest animal on the planet. The three skeletons were dug up by a road gang building a new road. In cutting down a grade, the three skeletons were found. Wise says that the men were not buried, for neither the posture nor the surroundings showed any evidence of Hawaiian burial. The usual method of burying Hawaiians was to place them in a bent posture, shoulders forward and arms brought down to the knees. As you find, a lot of these giants were buried in that way too, in our accounts. He said this morning, but none of these bodies had been so arranged. They were lying in an extended attitude. We also saw giants lying in an extended attitude. And it seems that these giants or large hominids of the past, that only the royalty were really buried, or, the aristocracy was buried, and that the rest of the people in these societies were cremated. Okay, that's why you don't find a lot of the large, hundreds of thousands of skeletal remains of these people, because many of them were cremated. It's only reserved, these mounds and everything else were reserved for the aristocracy, and that's it. And then the rest of average people were all burned to dust, okay, to, ashes and carbon. Okay, so the figures on the sides, and it's reasonable to suppose that they were soldiers fallen in battle, both from the circumstance in which they have been found and because the discovery bears out a legend dealing with the great battle in this district in the 16th century. Well, you could just forget about all of that because that's pure speculation, but, maybe, I guess, I don't know. Perhaps, unfortunately for the scientific research, the Hawaiians who were employed on the road gang refused to allow the skeletons to be taken away, and they were reburied. However, Wise says that they can probably be secured in case they should be desired for the Bishop Museum. He thinks that ethnologists would find much of whatever probably interesting and blah, blah, blah. I'm sure sure they were interested in it and did examine it and all that kind of stuff. And where is it now? Where are these remains now? Where is all of the remains of all the accounts we read where academics were involved, universities were involved, Smithsonian was involved, Bureau of Indian Affairs was involved, blah, 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 blah. Where are they all? And it's in copious amounts that disappeared into nothingness. Just think about that. Why? Maybe because our past isn't what they tell us it is. Half skeleton, unusual size and strength. Scientists examined half a skeleton in Honolulu, half of a human skeleton believed to be 250 years old, discovered on this island by a bather, is being examined by Dr. Edward Handy of the staff of the Bishop Museum in the hope that it may help solve the problem of the origin of the Polynesian race. The skeleton includes the major portion of the man's torso and is in excellent state of preservation, especially the teeth. Hey, those teeth again. Okay, meat eaters, sugar eaters, all that kind of stuff are going to have teeth like us, okay, in need of bridges, dentures, fillings, fake teeth, caps, blah, 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 blah. Okay, these people didn't have any of that stuff done. Their teeth were perfect, okay, because they weren't eating any of that stuff. Their diets were cleaner, vegetable material mostly, and probably a lot of sea life. These are of unusual size and strength and give rise to the belief that the skeleton may be older than 250 years, Dr. Handy said. The spinal column is also preserved partially. Boy, that must have been a wonder to see and all that kind of stuff. Where'd it go? Can we see it? Nope. Got burned up in a fire. How'd that happen? Well, we were barbecuing one night and, got out of control. We had some Coronas and, hey. A mention of giant Hawaiians, Hawaiian origin ships. I think this is the one that mentions to Guam. Okay, yes. Northern branch of people traced to Guam. Okay, so this is very interesting to me because we would have never heard about any giants in Guam because there's no accounts for it that you can find on the internet anywhere. Okay, but it's here, right here. Excavation revealed monoliths and burial tombs of ancient tribe, unlike present. Honolulu. As a result of recent explorations on the island of Kauai by Dr. Herbert E. Gregory, director of the Bishop Museum, the theory now is being propounded that the northern branch of the Hawaiian people migrated to these islands through a northeast route from Guam to Midway and then to Kauai, okay, and I guess to the Americas after that, but who's to say it wasn't the other way around? See, this is the mistake that they've been getting wrong all the time. It has to be going into America, it can't be going out of America. I say that's bull, okay? When you're finding civilizations in the Americas 30 and 40,000 years old, it's the other way around, folks. Don't let them kid you, all right? They're making that mistake over and over again, even at that time, okay? Because of Louis Agassiz and his nonsense with the Ice Age and Bering Strait. And now, after all this time, they don't even believe they came across on the Bering Strait. So, ha. That's them, not me. Gregory's exploration work, combined with his data unearthed in Guam by Hanshi Hornbostel and Commander J.C. Thompson, has led to the formation of the theory. During the exploration on Guam, there was discovered remains of giant monoliths and burial tombs, and also skulls and skeletons of an ancient people who were very large and utterly unlike the Micronesian peoples who inhabited that region in later years. So, utterly unlike them. Okay, a story of the past we don't know anything about. That had a lot to do with these giants and large hominids of every variety and little people too and all that kind of stuff, okay? They don't want us to know about our past because we're vicious, murdering, homicidal maniacs. And we don't like big people. We don't like small people. We don't need a reason to kill them all. We're just scared, okay? It's all about scared little babies. Apparently, these giants were very reasonable guys. They could be reasonable. I proved it so many times on this channel. We discussed the good giants on the channel. Where else are you going to hear about the good giants on YouTube? Nowhere. Okay? Because they want you to follow that History Channel directive there. Cannibal giants and all this other crap. All nonsense. The great stones were raised with what must have been Herculean effort, see, for they weighed 30 tons or more, larger than any stone in the pyramids of Egypt. While certainly a lot easier for giants to lift them than us. Doesn't that make sense to anybody? The uncovering of the bones of a giant race about the size of the ancient Hawaiians is the startling part of the Guam discovery and is evidence that some race other than the Micronesian passed through Guam in ancient times. Comparison of the skulls found in Guam with those found in the lost valleys of Kauai show them to be identical. The characteristics are outstanding in both cases and in all cases alike. The scientists connected with the Bishop Museum believe they are on the track of some wonderful knowledge of the migrations of the various races of the Pacific. Sunday Oregonian in 1922, while they certainly didn't follow up on it and never heard anything about it again because there can't be this history with large hominids and blah, 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 because today the average height of peoples around the world, everywhere on this planet, the average height is 5 foot 8 inches approximately. 5 foot 8 inches tall. Okay. How would this look if a 5 foot 8 guy, I don't know how tall this guy is, if this guy's 7 foot 7, I'm assuming this guy's about 6 foot tall, probably 200 pounds, right? Oh, is this guy 7 foot 7, 350 pounds, 300 pounds? Okay. This guy ripped this guy's head off. Rip his head off. Okay. Look, a 5 foot 8 guy standing next to the guy be like down here somewhere, whatever. This guy is a real life giant with unbroken DNA from the dark, deep past. Okay? He's not a bloodthirsty Nephilim chewing on baby arms either. Okay, dinglings. Okay, so last one here. There weren't a lot of accounts on Hawaii, but hey, enough. Honolulu Temples of Giants, Legends and Shroud Temples of Hawaii. And this is just a little short one. Scattered throughout the length and breadth of Hawaii, the great heiaus erected in the dim past as temples where the natives worshipped lie undisturbed and almost unknown today. Monuments molded in gigantic form by a vanished race of giant people. 1928 New York Times, okay, 20th century, okay. Talking about giants in the 20th century there, and then Alice Sherd-Lishka came along and made sure that whole narrative shifted and went a different way. Just in total disbelief of the giants, and although they may ridicule the Nephilim and Anunnaki stories about it, they don't mind that you follow that path at all because they don't want you to know what the truth is about the past. Okay? I'm trying to get at it for you. Randall Carlson is trying to get it. Why is there no record of ancient humans? Because this planet's been destroyed over and over and over again. Every time they reach the peak, whether it's the giants or us. Finally, the gravity changed on the planet and all the really super big giants all died off. And in our accounts of the giants through all these states and everything, we saw many transitions to types of burials, gravel pit burials, tomb burials, all this sort of things, from the very giant ones to the smaller ones, which came much later on. And then the hybrid chiefs later on, okay? The reason why the Fiji chiefs and Watusi chiefs, okay, the reason why, they're continued. I don't know why this is Uncharted X. Wait a second. Come on, Goofy. The Watusi people, okay, is because they only marry within their own class. And that's what they've continued that tradition for centuries and millennia. All right. And the Tutsi people who are their subjects are happy to serve them because apparently they're not bad rulers. Okay. And which was probably their legacy. All right. And not this whole cannibal giant thing and Nephilim and Anunnaki. Before we even jump there, folks, let's talk about what we could discern from what all these accounts and whatever data we can get out of this. And I've tried to bring you as much as possible. We talked about these alternative ideas. Get it through your head, okay? all that 20th century stuff about the giants and the Bible, whatever it is. It's just the propaganda in the Bible too. At the same time, the same sort of thing was going on all around the world. Don't you find that quite interesting and too coincidental? All right. It came a time where Homo sapiens decided they're going to get rid of all the big people, the little people, and everything because there were plenty of little people around and tribes of pygmy tribes and whatnot that aren't around anymore. And other weird tribes where the people are miniaturized, it's just miniature version of ourselves, but they're not dwarves or midgets or any of these other things, congenital things. They're just miniature people somehow or whatever. Okay, so we don't like all the strange things. We got rid of them. And so many of these accounts and stories talk about that, but maybe on these remote islands, these things did not affect these people. Okay, their their DNA chain remains unbroken throughout the centuries and millennia. Okay, real live giants. There's no such thing. What do you call this guy right here? Let's go send your 5 foot wife to stand next to this guy. He's a giant. All right. So anyway, guys, again, you're going to hear a lot of ideas on my channel that you're not going to hear anywhere else because it's the truth. Okay. What you're hearing everywhere else is lies. History Channel lies. Government approved lies, whether it's in textbooks or anywhere else. Okay. They want to keep the past from us for some reason. Okay. What does it mean? Okay. A lot of people doing a lot of work trying to figure that out too. All right. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that. And that was the last state. We got a little taste of Guam in there, which was great. And I'll get to the international giants real soon, but I want to cover a couple of other things first. All right. So anyway, you like the video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and I will be coming back to you with a new video real soon. All right, guys. Anyway, Bugcat7 signing out. A peace.